Okay, I want to apologize. I just fixed the internet here in my house, but clearly. So I want to apologize that we froze there with Nadine Burke Harris, who was wonderful. I hope, so I want to apologize for that. I don't know what happened. I'm not a technical wizard. It just froze. So I don't know if it froze Instagrams all over, but I know ours froze. So, but I hope that you all found Nadine Burke Harris to be helpful. The resources that she's put together, I think, are really important. She's put a lifetime of service into putting those recommendations together. I read through them. So whether you have little kids at home, whether you're home alone, whether you have teenagers at home, all of the suggestions that are in the playbook are really helpful. So you can read through them, you can download them, you can forward them to a friend. She's the first Surgeon General that California has ever had, and she has a wealth of experience that she has brought to this moment. I have found that I've spoken to a lot of people on this Home Together series who have said, you know what, I trained for this moment. I am here for this moment. Everything I've learned, I'm here to share it in this moment. And I feel a little bit the same way, having spent a lifetime in journalism, a lifetime in the nonprofit space, a lifetime in the political service space. I feel that everything I've known I can share at this moment. So I hope that you found, I know many of you probably, many people were saying, who is this, who is this? Her name is Nadine Burke Harris. She is the Surgeon General for California. She is a world-renowned pediatrician, a world-renowned stress and trauma doctor and expert. She has a great book. It's called The Deepest Well. It's something you can get at your local bookstore. You can get it on Amazon or any of another place where you can get books. And she is really an incredible resource, whether you have little kids or whether you're struggling with that inner kid in you. I think many of us are dealing with an inner child that's kind of running around inside of here. And that child needs to be calmed. That child needs to be hugged. We all need to do our best to care for the child in us. And that enables us to take care of the child, whether it's our own child, the child in our partner, our spouse, or anybody that we're working with, because the inner child is also bookshop.org, somebody just mentioned, is a great place to get books. It supports independent bookstores. Joni Williams, I look forward to seeing and hearing you each day. Thank you, Joni Williams. Thank you for bearing with whether we have audio challenges, whether we freeze, but thank you. Yes to the inner child, self-care first. Lisa JB20. I never learned about the inner child until I was way grown up. But I think many of us who are dealing with anxiety or stress in a moment like this, it's really the inner child running who was never calmed or never soothed. So if you have kids, soothing and nurturing and holding is way more important than homework. I know, maybe if you're a teacher, you're gonna like take my head off, but giving children the skills, the resilient skills to come out of this moment, to be calm, will serve them not only well for this moment, but throughout their life as they grow up to be grown-ups. Love when you share about the inner child and boundaries. Yes, I learned them both later in life, and which is why I want to share them with you. I've learned from many wise teachers about the importance of self-care, the importance of boundaries, the importance of honoring your feelings and being okay with how you feel, and not think, oh, well, at least I'm not so-and-so, or I'm not dealing with so-and-so, so what right do I have to say anything? You have the right to feel what you're feeling. You have the right to your experiences. But I also do know that whenever you're feeling like helpless or anxious, write a gratitude list, sit in silence for a couple minutes, find some way to be helpful to yourself or others. That has always, I found, to be the best way to manage your way through. So Yes, it says top broad send a calm, secure child back to school and they'll catch up. I love that. I taught school for 38 years, PFRG, and this broadcast was helpful. So thank you. I like to hear that. I like to hear that from teachers because I have a friend who worked with me for many years, Lindsay, who's a teacher, who says so often that kids come into school anxious and upset and they don't have the skills to calm themselves. And that's so often because the parent didn't learn the skills to calm themselves. Nobody taught us about soothing and safety, so you go looking for it in other places. But you have what you need within you to soothe, to self-soothe, to make yourself feel secure, and then once you have that, you can pass that on to a child. You can help a spouse or a partner develop those skills, or at least talk about them, develop the skills to communicate about them. We have the holistic psychologist on here on Thursday, and she's been really helpful to me. I follow her, I don't know her, but she does really incredible work on boundaries and self-acceptance and inner child and understanding when things come up for you and you want to blame it on the person bringing the things up. You have to actually go back and go into yourself. You have to go into yourself because it's not the other person's problem. It's not the other person's fault. It's all a chance for you to grow, to build resilience, to get stronger, to learn, to figure out where you have a wound that still needs some healing. And we all have them, regardless of who you are. We all have those little trigger points, those little pebbles that, make us feel insecure, angry, resentful, whatever it is. Calling. But I hope her work is helpful and was helpful to you today and all days. That once again, you can download her work. And I want to thank all of you. What can grandparents do who are primary caregivers at this time? FaceTime, reach out so that kids can see that they're still there. I suppose stay in touch in whatever way that they can. And also to be honest about why perhaps that grandparent is not showing up. It's not their fault and it's not the child's fault. It's the situation that we all find ourselves in. What's her name again? Her name is Nadine Burke Harris. Nadine Burke Harris. And she is an author, an advocate, an activist, and the Surgeon General of the great state of California. And she has put together a playbook to help build resilience, to help deal with anxiety, to help you chart a path forward each and every day, regardless of who you are or where you live. So she's here in California, but her work is really world-renowned. And I want to use this space and this place to shine a light on people that are obviously well-known, who are doing incredible things, but also to shine a light on some people you may not know, but that I think you might like to know about and that might be helpful to you in your future and in your daily life. Because there's so many people that I find that I don't know anything about, and their work is really helpful. So somebody saying to me, can I post all of this? It's in my story. I write about a lot of this in the Sunday paper, and but we will try to post it, or you can watch it, I guess, in the story. Will I be talking to the governor of California? I'm in Palo Alto. I did speak to the governor of California last week, and you can watch that interview on my YouTube channel where all these conversations live. We did speak to Governor Newsom. Tomorrow we're going to talk to Wolfgang Puck about small businesses, and if you happen to have a small business, what can you do? What should you be doing? Some lessons in pivoting from him. The holistic psychologist on Thursday about relationships and communication. And on Friday, Mark Cuban on business and getting through this time, and advice from someone. Get Esther Perel on relationship health. She is the best. That's a really good idea. So I really appreciate that idea. There's another Esther Perel. Yep, you're right. I'll reach out to Esther. I know her. And missing your handsome Patrick. Yeah, me too. But he said he has to try to get a job. So he's a struggling actor. He's an entrepreneur. And so he's doing an audition. If I knew how to work all of this, I would bring you in and spy on his audition, but he probably would not like that, so I won't do it. But anyway, I appreciate all of you who tune in here every day at 2 o'clock. I hope you tell your friends. Home Together is continuing as long as we're home together. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening to Dr. Nadine Burke Harris and Alicia Ballard. Oh, my good friend Alicia Ballard is an extraordinary woman who is a great friend of mine, a huge friend of the women's Alzheimer's movement, who has put her money and her passion and her self really out in front, funding incredible research in the state of California and beyond, and supporting the work of the women's Alzheimer's movement. I just saw her handle come up, and so I just wanted to shout her out. She has been such a friend to the women's Alzheimer's movement. And one of the things, there's so many nonprofits like the women's Alzheimer's movement, like so many other who do such great work, who are really struggling at this time, really struggling because all of the much needed resources, and they should be going to doctors and nurses and Feeding America and masks, but all these other nonprofits who were working are really struggling. So if you have $5 and you believe in some of the work of other nonprofits, whether it's the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, which is funding research into women to understand how women age and women's brains, which seeks to educate women and their families about their increased risk to Alzheimer's. That's what it does. But there are so many great organizations, Special Olympics, Best Buddies, Save the Children. There are autism. There's so many great organizations out there, children's hospitals, that, you know, deserve our attention. And if we have $5 or $10, that's great. So I want to remind you about the Sunday paper. If you don't get it, I hope you sign up for it. It's a free weekly newsletter that we do every week to inspire hearts and minds and move humanity forward. And maybe you'll also check out the Sunday paper Instagram account, which has a mission that is the same. Maria, the Mary Knoll sisters in New York need a lot of help right now. Very good. Thank you for letting me know that. Editor Christina, she's really great. I love her. I don't know her, but she really writes great questions. Brooks Mommy, St. Jude's, yes, they do incredible work. St. Jude's, another great nonprofit that needs our help and needs our attention. Thank you for all the comments about loving the Sunday paper. Christian Meekoff is ambassador of the Sunday paper. Can you have Chris Cuomo or Ali Wentworth on? Someone who beat COVID. Really good idea. So I'm going to get on Ali Wentworth and Chris Cuomo, both of those. So I got to get on it. I got to get booking. How do you get the Sunday paper? You just sign up for it. Go to mariashriver.com and it'll sign up, and you just put your name and email in there, and boom, there it goes. Then you're signed up. And you're part of a community of people who are building a more caring, compassionate, conscious world. And you'll be in a really great community, and people are really nice. Who is the lady behind you? It's my daughter bought it for me. It's one of those signs you get on the street in New York, and it talks about coffee, and I drink a lot of coffee. I do. I tell myself it's good for my brain. Yeah, it's just probably good for everything, but I don't try to do too much. Can you invite someone who helps us learn about decision making? Another really good idea. Simon Sinek, my pal, he's really good on that. So I will get him as well. And gosh, I got to get off of here, and I am going to go and get booking. So we will see you tomorrow, and we will see you with Wolfgang Puck tomorrow. And I hope you're well in the meantime. I hope that you take care of yourself If you have anxiety, I hope you learn to soothe yourself. I hope you honor yourself. I hope you remember that you are divine, you are enough, you deserve to be here, and that we will get through this. I know that. Somebody said to me the other day, how do you know that? And I said, I have faith, and I know that. I just know it because I see on the other side. And I want to thank you all for joining me, and I'll tell Patrick that you missed him. And God bless you, and have a great rest of your day. And sorry about that freeze thing.